can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Hello, it's lovely to speak with you today. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
And have we spoken before?
Yes,
Uh-huh, okay. I remember, yeah.
yes,
Uh, and sorry, could you tell me your name one more time?
yes. My name is Linh.
Ling, yeah, I remember. Okay. I see that you sent me a breaking news English link that you would like to do together, right?
Yes,
Okay. Did you want to do that now? Or, yeah, let's do that now. So let me open my computer. Okay. Okay. So can you see my screen?
yes, I can see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's practice reading just the first sentence. Could you read this sentence for me?
Yes, rising sea levels could see the demise
Blank, you can just say blank.
blank half of the world's beaches blank the end of this century.
Okay, so with the first one right here, rising sea levels could see the demise blank half. What do you think the preposition is for this section?
I think is by.
By? Okay. So typically when we see a percentage like half or whoopsie. Oh no, 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 no. Why did that go away? Give me 1 second, sorry. Okay. So when we see a percentage like half or 1/3 or 2/3, usually the preposition to come before a fraction or percentage is of.
Yes,
Okay, so rising sea levels could see the demise of half of the world's beaches.
yes,
So it sounds kind of weird because you're saying half of half, half of.
of half of the world's
Mhm.
beaches
Mhm.
like the end of this century.
Yeah, so when we use time, when we talk about time, what preposition do we use for a long, long time?
And he is, uh, um, I think is in.
So in is so when we're talking about like next month or Sunday or Monday, anything that ends in day, we're gonna use the preposition on. So on my birthday, on Wednesday, and then also for dates, so the 1st, the 15th, on the 15th, on the 1st. So when we talk about longer periods of time, like the end of the year or the end of the century, we're going to use the preposition at.
Oh yes, at.
Mhm. So could you read the whole sentence again for me now that it's complete?
Half of the world's beaches at the end of this century.
Exactly. Perfect. So now we can read the next sentence. Could you just read this part for me?
Yes, climate scientists predict that 50%.
So remember, what do we use for percentages or fractions?
I think is off.
Exactly. Perfect. So if you hear percent or half, you know you're going to use the preposition of. Okay. So climate scientists predict that 50% of sandy beaches,
Sandy beaches line the world's coastlines could vanish in the next 8 decades if climate change continues along its current path.
exactly. So here we have climate scientists predict that 50% of sandy beaches and then because this is a location, like we're talking about where something is, we're going to say on 50% of sandy beaches on the world's coastlines could vanish. And this one's a little confusing, but I'm going to do it for you. Could vanish in the next 8 decades if climate change continues. So for this one, it's at because you're ending the time, but it's in because you're kind of still in the time. It's confusing. Prepositions are hard.
Yes.
In the next decade, if climate change continues on its current path.
Yes.
Those are kind of hard to explain, so I think we can move on to more simple ones. So could you read this sentence for me?
Yes. They warned that the shorelines, like many highly populated areas and tourist hotspots, are threatened by erosion, climate change, and surging sea levels.
Surging sea levels.
Surging sea levels.
Okay, so they warned that the shorelines, and you're talking about a location, so you're going to use in.
Yeah.
They warned that the shorelines in many highly populated areas and tourist hotspots are threatened by erosion from climate change and surging sea levels. All right, and could you read this sentence for me?
Yes. Areas lying risk of disappearing forever include well-known popular beaches in Australia Surfers Paradise, the island like Hawaii, Brazil's Copacabana
Copacabana.
Beach, and the Costa del Sol in Spain.
Exactly. So I'm going to give you these areas at risk. Everything is always at risk. It will always be at risk. If you hear risk at all, the preposition you use is at. Okay, areas at risk of disappearing forever include well-known popular beaches in Australia's surfer paradise, the islands of Hawaii. So Hawaii is the state, and the islands belong to Hawaii. So when we have islands, land that belongs to a country, you're going to use the preposition of. So Chuang Sa, and Spratly Islands are of Yeah, and you can read this sentence for me.
Yes, the scientists report that countries like the Gambia and Guinea, Guinea-Bissau
Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau in Africa are predict to lose over 60% like their beaches.
Hmm. The scientists reported that countries
Is
mm,
of the
countries like, so it's giving examples of each country's, and whenever you're talking about comparisons or giving examples, you're going to use the preposition like.
yes.
Hmm. Are predicted to lose over 60%, and we're talking about the land that each country has. So what preposition do we use there?
Is
Remember
of
this one.
yes.
Of.
Yes.
Hmm. Awesome. Okay. And now this sentence, almost finished. We got it.
The country to be worst affected is Australia, where 12,000
Kilometers.
kilometers of coastline
Hmm.
could end blanks underwater forever.
Hmm. Could be. Give me 1 second. So the country to be worst affected is Australia, where 12,000 kilometers of coastline could end. This is kind of colloquial, so we always say end up, and that means at the finishes. Every night I end up in bed. Every night I end up washing the dishes. So we're talking about the end of something. All right, and now we have the next sentence.
Yes. The researchers wrote that a substantial pro- proportion, like
Hmm.
the world's sandy coastline, is already eroding. A situation that could be exacerbated
Exacerbated. Hmm.
exacerbated like climate change.
Yeah. So a substantial proportion. What do we think is the preposition that goes here?
I think is up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. A substantial proportion of the world's sandy coastline is already eroding. A situation that could be exacerbated or made worse. So exacerbated, exacerbated is the same thing as made worse.
Yeah.
And then what do we think the preposition is for this one? Exacerbated or made worse, blank climate change.
May in the worst in the blanket from the
So
climate
it's
change.
so it's by climate change. So this is um, I'll give you another example. It's my cooking was made worse by my seasoning, or my house was made by. So by is like the action that someone does. Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's the action that climate change is doing. Mhm. Okay, we're almost finished. So just read that one for me.
Yes. Could could result like the near Extinction on the world's sandy beaches.
This could result in the near extinction of the world's sandy beaches at the end of the century, because we have at the end of the century up
Yes.
here, at the end of the century. And then I'm gonna finish this for you. Research co-author Dr. Nicholas Woodokis said that there were two important ways we could reduce this trend and save the beaches. He said we had to reduce emissions and manage our coastline in a more sustainable way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now we can check our answers. I'm not always sure I'm 100% correct. Yeah, so some of them are wrong.
Yeah.
So rising sea levels could see the demise of half the world's beaches. Hmm. At in the end of the century. Interesting. I'm not sure why that's wrong. I would have chosen to write at. Maybe in. And then we can use at here. Okay, let's check that, even though some of this is wrong. Oh no! I'm not sure why at and in are different. I would use at for the end of the century, but I'm not sure why it's wrong. Okay, so we can close this out, and I would like to hear about your opinions on climate change. Do you know what climate change is?
Yes.
So, what is climate change to you?
The climate change is like the environment is more polluted, yes,
Polluted.
and uh,
So, what else? What happens when the climate is changing? What happens in Vietnam when the climate is changing?
weather is hotter, yes, and mm, the in Vietnam is very polluted in the city.
Yeah, so lots of air pollution and water pollution in the city. And it becomes hotter every year. So each summer will be more and more hot. And where do you live in Vietnam? Can you remind me again?
Yeah.
Nam Định. So I think as the water is rising and rising in the ocean, I think Nam Định will be very affected by rising water.
Yes.
Yeah. So are you scared about
Yes,
climate
I'm very
change?
scared. Like one, if one day the Earth is will be die by the climate change. Yes.
One day the Earth will die from climate change. Yeah, and I think that climate change can really be felt in Vietnam because it's so hot in the summertime,
Yes.
right? So, what are things that you and your family do to reduce your pollution?
you repeat, please?
Yeah, what are things, I'll type it here, that you and your family do to reduce your pollution?
Um, like
So do you and your family try to not use plastic bags?
I try, yes,
Mm, try not to use plastic bags. Try not to use plastic water bottles, right? Mm. Is there anything else you do, you and your family, to reduce your pollution?
mm, um, I do not litter.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you think on the beach in Nambing, is there a lot of plastic
Yes, it's a
pollution?
lot of,
Yeah, there's a lot of trash on the beach, right? Yeah. Have you ever picked up trash with
yes,
your family? Hmm. Mm. And what do you do with the trash that you pick up? Do you throw it away?
could you repeat, please?
What do you do with the trash that you pick up?
Uh, I pick up, pick it in,
Do you put it in a bag and you throw it away?
yes, I put it in the bag
Hmm.
and mm,
And then you throw it away. Mm. And do you see the air pollution in Nambing? Does Nambing have air pollution?
yes, and
Mm.
in Namding, in the countryside, is the air pollution uh, is
I think there's less air pollution in the countryside.
yes, is fresh every
Mhm. Like in the central part of Vietnam, in Da Nang, in Đà Lạt, there's less
yes,
air pollution. But in Hanoi and Saigon
yes,
or Ho Chi Minh, there's a lot of air
yes,
pollution. Mm. And have you ever been to
yes. I
Hanoi?
have been to Hanoi.
Hmm. And did you see the air pollution when you
Yes,
went to
if
Hanoi? Mhm. And what did you think
I
about the
think
air pollution?
uh, it's very polluted.
Yeah, it's for me, it's really sad because Vietnam is so beautiful.
Yes,
So it's sad to see a country not have clean air and not have clean water. It makes me really sad. Mhm. So I hope the future can change. I hope young people can make a difference in our world, right? Hmm. Um, And I have a reservation right now, so I have to go. But thank you for
yes. I'm very
talking to
happy
me
to talk to
today. Thank
you.
you so
Bye
much.
bye.
Yeah. Bye.